Guys, springtime means putting away the snowblower and dragging out the lawnmower. So many people I know neglect taking a few important steps to ensuring that their snowblower is properly stored and ready for when the snow flies next season. Failure to properly handle the gas in the gas tank or lubricate the snowblower, it's a guaranteed front seat to watch a snowblower eventually seize, rust, and fail eventually. And when do they fail? When you need it in the storm. So here's 5 storage tips that you can do to prevent these issues. The first is fuel stabilizer. So adding fuel stabilizer to fresh gas is important to keep the gas from going bad throughout the winter season when you're using it, but also during storage. You should just add fuel stabilizer to your gas tank. Adding the stabilizer prevents the gas from breaking down and turning into a varnish-like gunk. That's going to clog your tank, your injectors, or your fuel lines. So the gas that we buy today that we use has ethanol in it. Ethanol is hygroscopic and it absorbs water. And that means that it's going to oxidize when it reacts with oxygen in the fuel tank. Now, fuel stabilizer actually absorbs moisture, absorbs that water in the tank. So look, I realize that a lot of people out there do nothing. They just put the unit away, just as it is. They use it, put it away, they never look at it again. While not recommended, if you're one of those people, then just at least add stabilizer to some fresh gas, put it in your snowblower, and then run the engine for 5 minutes. That's gonna blend that fuel through your system and kind of clean it out and put new stuff in there. Then close the fuel valve if you have one, and let the engine run until it stops and stalls on its own. Just let it run out of gas. If the engine has a electronic fuel injection system, EFI, just simply run it for 5 minutes and turn the ignition key off. This is important. Make sure, once you do that you top off the fuel, leaving no room in the tank, no air, so that water can condense and collect inside there in the warm winter months. All right, let's talk about draining the fuel from the fuel tank. I think this is the best practice, and just drain the tank, drain it out. If you don't know how to do that, just get a siphon or a pump that you can get at a hardware store, pump the gas out, and then run the engine until it stalls, so it's cleaned. If your snowblower has a carburetor, you can even take a little drain plug at the bottom of the bowl and drain that into a cup. All right, lubrication. Lubrication of your snowblower is super important. Prior to lubricating your snowblower, take out the key, remove the spark plug, make it safe. Then just grab the handles and tilt it up and over onto the auger area of the housing. And this is called the service position. It's actually designed to do this. Remove the snap clips. On the Ariens, they have snap clips on the wheel axles. Remove the clips and remove the wheels. This might be tough to do if you've never done this, because the axles could be rusty. Use care not to lose the key from the little keyway in the axle. That key holds the wheel from spinning on the axle. You need to put that back. All right, once you remove the wheels, then remove the 6 bolts holding the bottom cover, and that's going to expose the chain and the gears. Rotate the pinion gear, it looks like a motorcycle chain or a bicycle chain, and apply light oil to the links, wiping the excess from the chain. Put some paper towels or rags underneath because you don't want any oil dripping to the stuff below the gears and pulleys. Additionally, get a grease gun and put some thin grease on the gears and along the hex shaft, the hex-shaped shaft, and rotate those gears and spread it evenly out. There's also pump grease into the end of the pinion shaft grease fitting. That's on the right wheel of the Ariens, and pump grease right into that and get that grease right in there. And then once you're done with all this, apply a little light oil to the axle ends where they come out of the machine housing on the outside. When done with all this, apply grease to the axle, put some grease into the keyway, put your key back into it, put your wheel back on, reinstall your snap clips. Make sure you have that keyway lined up and it works and the wheel doesn't spin. Lubing your axle, guys, is going to prevent you from rust developing on the axle. It's going to prevent that wheel from coming off and getting seized up, because you need that to be able to service your machine in the future. When you're done, return the machine to normal position and then remove the shear pins in the auger. Once you remove those pins, lubricate the grease fittings on the auger shaft and then turn the augers by hand. That will spread the grease along the auger shaft, and then when that's done, you can reinstall those shear bolts to the proper tension. All right, number 4 is changing the oil. Now, changing oil isn't necessarily critical to storage. However, if you didn't change it this season or last season, it's a good time to do it now. Additionally, tip 5 is the plug, the spark plug. When it's time to conduct pre-routine maintenance like we're doing, it's recommended to at least inspect the plug, clean it, check it. If not, just replace it. If you haven't done it in a couple of years, you probably should replace it. When all these things are done, these 5 things, you can store your snowblower. Just make sure you pick a cool, dry, protected place. Don't store it outside. Guys, I can't believe how many people just do nothing to their snowblowers. Taking the time now to maintain your machines, it's going to pay big dividends when the snow flies. And it'll be a reliable machine that will last a long time. Guys, I hope you found these tips helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. Absolutely love hearing from you. I'm Rob Robillard. We'll see you next time here at Concord Carpenter. Take care and stay healthy, everybody.